So I want to talk about your recorded speeches setup. So this is an example of something that would work perfectly fine for your recorded speech setup. You want to, first of all, show that there's an audience there. So you can, there's your audience, right? You can move the computer over and scan the room if you need to ensure that you have 3 adults over the age of 12 as your audience members, or you can just make sure that we can clearly see them from this position. That's fine too. As long as I can clearly see that you have audience members present. So you want to, much like the other type of speech, the real time, make sure that your background is free of clutter. This is okay, right? This is not probably perfect, but it's certainly acceptable as far as there's not a ton of things in the background that are going to distract people from seeing you. You want to make sure that we can clearly see you from your head to not quite your feet isn't necessary if you can't fit your entire self in the frame, but as long as we can see most of you here. As you can see here, you can see most of me in this frame, and you can see the note cards that you're using. So when you're giving the speech, you will be using your note cards, referencing your note cards, and moving them around. But we want to be able to see that you're using note cards for this speech. So we want to be able to clearly see and hear you. Make sure that that's appropriate as you go through your setup, that we can see all of you, that we can see that you have an audience. This is the way your setup for your recorded speeches should look. If you are using a visual aid that requires some sort of projected screen, make sure that we can see that. If you have a TV or a computer that you're using, make sure that we can see it both on the recording and that your audience can see it. If you are using a physical object of some sort, then you are making sure that we can see it clearly, the audience can see it. So you're delivering the speech as if you are delivering it to the audience. So that's where you'll be looking, is to the audience members, making eye contact with them, but we can see you on the recording that that's what you're doing. So this is a good setup example for your recorded speeches.